So this came from a listener slash daughter.
Yep. You and I were standing in my kitchen.
Yes, we were.
I think we had just finished dinner, or maybe we were eating dinner together. I don't remember, with Stacy, and she asked a question.
She did, and so she was actually washing the dishes when she said, so explain to me how buying a home really saves money, because I'm looking at buying a $300,000 home, and after living in it and paying on it for 30 years, I'm going to spend and actually end up paying $800,000 over those 30 years in interest. Mm-hmm. So how is that really saving money?
I think that everybody should understand the answer to that. But the reality is, when you look at the numbers on the surface, they don't make any sense. Let's say that someone got a $300,000 mortgage and they were getting an FHA loan and only put 3% down, which means the property price is like $311,000, something like that. If they finance $300,000 over 30 years, in that very first year, their payment would be $1,996. It would stay $1,996 for 30 solid years. That doesn't include mortgage insurance. In the first year, they would pay $20,903 in interest, $3,047 toward principal. Over a 30-year period, the total interest charged by the lender, the total interest paid by the borrower in that example, would be $351,371 in total in interest. So take the $310,880, almost the $311, add to it the $351,000, which means the total cost would be $662,000 over 30 years. Now, what I wanted to do is take a look at it and say, well, if you have to live somewhere, then compare it to the other options that you may have. So I did a little research. I looked at $300,000 houses. They're renting for a little over $2,000, so I used $2,100. So you're paying $1,996 a month for the mortgage, paying $2,100 a month in rent. If the rent did not increase over 30 years, which is just not possible for that to happen, but let's just pretend, then instead of paying $662,000 over those 30 years, you would pay as a tenant $756,000 and have nothing to show for it at the end of 30 years. Now, you made an interesting point about home price appreciation, and we need to bring that up as well.
So if I just base on the past 30 years, so if we go back 30 years, the average price of a home was $101,000.
Those were the good old days, but also our average income was half what it is today, probably.
And today, the average price of a home is $306,000. So there was a 300% increase. So someone who bought a home in the 1990s and spent $101,000 on it, lived there, paid their mortgage, can now sell it at $306,000. So a 300% increase. Now, if you look at your $310,000 mortgage, and how much she's paying, if you do 300%, what would be her sell price in 30 years? If we just base it off of history, 300% of 310 is what?
$900,000.
$900,000. One, you got to pay to live somewhere. So you can pay to still live in the home. But then two, if you actually stay in that home and live in it, you will not only make how much you spent on the sales price, purchase price, but you will also make back all your interest, because you're going to be selling it higher than you actually spent in interest.